Guys, we got a legend joining us, and I don't want to waste any more time because we're running late, and I want to get him in here because this man has some stories. This man has some tales to tell, and we got to pick his brain a little bit. He is a Calder Cup champion, a Stanley Cup champion. You've seen him on Sportsnet. You've seen him on TSN, and now you hear him on the radio every day in the Toronto area on the Real Kipper and Born Show. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Nick Kypreos. Kipper, thank you for joining us, brother.
I hear legend and I look over my shoulder.
Come on now, man. How you been, buddy? Good?
We're good. Looking forward to that all-star break, man. No one needs it more than us. Forget the players. We need it.
What do you got? What do you got planned? Hey, hold on. I'm not trying to go. I'm not trying to go political here, buddy. You allowed to do anything where you're at, or what you got going on here? Oh, no. You guys are in lockdown or what?
You remember Monopoly? Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. Go straight to jail.
So you're just gonna roll for doubles to get out right now. You're just gonna roll for doubles the next fucking 9 turns and hope that you get out.
It is. It's crazy, and it's just it's make it up as you go along.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And today you can go see a hockey game at a junior B game and have 500 people, and they're saying that's the same for the NHL in a 20,000 seat stadium. It's like, yeah, how can that be? How can you have 500 people at a minor league rink and 500 people at where the Leafs play? It's just stupid beyond belief.
I'm hoping after this all-star game, this all-star weekend, coming down the stretch here. Hopefully, it seems like things are starting to be a little more normalcy as far as rosters for games each night, right? Like it doesn't seem like it's quite the circus it was in the last few weeks. So I think that's a good sign. Hopefully things can get back where, we just have full barns down the stretch here. And then
I agree. I don't even know if they're like how often they're testing. Do they even want to test? Do they look the other way now? We're listening today, and it's like Ovi out with COVID because he doesn't want to go to the All-Star game, and like he might be the last test we'll ever hear, maybe. But say what you will, whether or not it's true or not, or he found a way to not go, he's earned it. I got no problems with Ovi taking the weekend off.
No, I agree. This is a guy that, man, he's been to a lot, right? And he's put on a show, and that's what they want. We want to see the fans meet the players, see a different side of him. Ovi's been an absolute force for this league. I want to ask you though, like, so back in your years of playing, when there's the All-Star game, was there any like how was it viewed then? Is it still the kind of the same thing where I think there's some guys that are excited going, but usually that's the guys who are the new guys to go in, right? And then maybe some guys are like, oh man, I could really use a weekend off. And how did you ever see guys faking injuries back in the day not to go?
No, not really, to be honest with you. And I grew up where it was a huge deal. You got named to the NHL AllStar Game. That was a big deal. And when you went, you competed hard. It was serious. You wanted to win the game. You wanted to represent your team well. And I don't know, Rupper, when it made the turn. Was it when John Scott got voted in on almost a dare by Jeff Merrick and the Waz from ESPN?
Jeff Merrick ruined it all for everybody.
Ruined it. Absolutely ruined it.
Fucking Jeff Merrick.
He turned it into a mockery, and I don't think it's recovered.
Well, let me ask you this, because like I kind of think this could be something where you have each team represented now, which I don't love that. I don't love that. I don't know what your feeling is on it, but do you think that maybe takes some of the wind out of the sails for some of the players? Because it was best on best. And the days that you're talking, guys, it was an honor to go because, oh my God, Wayne's there, Mario's there. You go through the list of guys, and, for the most part, most of those guys are there, but Sid's not there. You know what I mean? Like, there's other stars that aren't there now because it's almost like the guys who should be automatics to go as long as they're having decent years, they're kind of being overridden because every team has to have representation now.
Yeah, 100%. And it's gotten to the point now where the general managers have been involved over the years. And Lou Lamoriello is a perfect example where the league will call up and say, I want this guy. And he's like, no, you can't have him. How about this guy? We don't want that guy. And Markstrom, pretty good year in Calgary. They didn't want him to go to Vegas. He's not there. So I'm with you, Rupert, is like, you don't have to have a representation from every team. This isn't minor hockey where we all get a ribbon and a trophy, even if we suck, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's not. No, Montreal Canadiens do not deserve to have anybody at the All-Star game, and it's okay. It's fine. Skip a year.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I mean, I remember back when I was a kid, and I was at the time a Cleveland Indians fan, and they had a stretch there where they had the entire positional infield. Well, I didn't have a catcher. They didn't have the starting pitcher. They had third. They had third base, short, second, first, and I thought it was so cool, man. I'm like holy shit! Like our team. Like, look at the representation here. Like we got 4 infield starters, and I thought that was cool. So when you look, I mean, how neat would it be to have like Colorado? You could have Rantanen, Kadri, McKinnon, Makar, Devon Taves. He should be in the all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you've got these guys. And I think that's what people will remember. So those great teams that we talked about in the past, when you think about, even though they got swept by Columbus, that Tampa team that had that historic run that year. I mean, you could have all starters be Tampa Bay Lightning. I think that's what gets me going more than, oh yeah, this guy. In 2015, it was my first year being done playing. I covered the All-Star game, or actually my second year. But anyways, I was covering the All-Star game, and New Jersey was not very good then. Patty Eliash was my buddy. He got the nod because New Jersey sucked and he was the best player. And he went. And I sat down, I had dinner with him, and he's just like, he just wanted to like hang in the background. He didn't even want to like do the skills competitions because he felt like he's not really worthy of it. Like, he's just put in there because New Jersey needed somebody. So I'm like, if the players are feeling like that, like, maybe we should change it, you know?
I go back. Go all nostalgic and go back 20 years where guys got picked for great seasons. And here's a novel idea. Actually play hockey the way you do in the NHL at the All-Star. I mean, ditch the 3-on-3 and just go back. I think people would have more interest in that for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, I or this is the other part, and then you guys can jump in if you want to talk All-Star game or move on to something else. But this is the one thing that I also think too is let's just have the All-Star game. I think Vegas is the perfect place for it. Just like the Pro Bowl would always be in Hawaii. Like, let's just go Vegas, dig in there, because like these new games and I'm the gimmicky stuff. I like it. These 2 new events that they have there, playing blackjack, shooting those cards down, doing those things. I think it could be a hit. And Vegas is the spot where everybody looks for excuses to go to Vegas. If they made Vegas the yearly All-Star spot, then I think you're going to have fan bases. You could blow this thing up and make it huge, right? Like, it's like the people always know, hey, see you next year in Vegas. We're going to go to the All-Star game, as opposed to like, oh, well, this franchise needs it, or, you know, they didn't get Winter Classic, so maybe we'll give them the All-Star. You know what I mean? Like, just put it there and blow this thing up and make it a real event.
Yeah, I don't disagree. You have to go somewhere where the players can enjoy themselves with their families. You can go all cheese for 3 days with those events. And yeah, I don't disagree with you. I'm okay with Vegas every year, but for 2 hours, we can sell our game the way it's supposed to be played as well. And I think you're good to go, but we got to bring it back. If we're going to keep it around, let's at least play hockey, for Christ's sakes, you know?
Speaking of hockey, Kyper, I'm looking at your backdrop right now, and it looks like you got some ancient artifacts back there on the wall. What are we working with back there?
Wood sticks.
Man, I haven't seen those. I mean, those were being eliminated when I was a kid.
No wonder this guy wants hockey to be played at the All-Star.
It's cold. It's cold up here. If I have a power outage, I need Kindle.
Rupper, I think
I've got. Hold on.
you got a bad mic cable or something. It's popping a little bit. I don't know if you can.
I got Wendell Clark.
Oh,
Wendell.
shit, okay.
I got Lindros.
Oh,
I got
88.
Mario.
Wow, look at that.
I got Mario and Larry Murphy. And
Big Murph.
and first NHL goal stick. That's it.
Who was
Oh,
the
shit.
first?
Where's the Stanley Cup? Where's the Stanley Cup stick, Kyper?
Oh, no.
There it is.
Oh, he's
look
got
at that.
there it is.
Hey, okay, let's talk about the Cup, Kipper. What was that like? Because in New York, it had been 40, 50 years, I think, since they had seen that thing, and you were part of the team to bring it back to New York, and that had to be electric, just the atmosphere in that city and New York being what it is and what it meant to everyone there. I posted the photo on Twitter earlier, and the one guy held the sign up that says, "Now I can die in peace," and it's you just holding the cup right there in his face. What was the reception like and the buzz like after that?
Well, first of all, that was an iconic sign that still to this day everybody talks about it. The guy that brought it actually lost it that night during the celebration. And I would bet that there'd be a rich Ranger fan out there that would probably play 50 to 100 grand for that sign right now.
Oh, yeah.
But you're right, Nick, 54 years. When I arrived, that was the last Stanley Cup in 1940. And the previous year, the Rangers missed the playoffs. There was a lot of heat over, Messier and Roger Nielsen, the late Roger Nielsen, not getting along and needing to go to a different direction. Mike Keenan comes in with this reputation for, being the biggest hard ass you'll ever find in hockey behind a bench. And it was amazing that we were able to kind of hold it all together on a couple of occasions when it could have easily derailed. But Messier kind of pulled it all together. Brian Leach had a career year where he was as good as any defenseman in history. And Mike Richter was fantastic. When you got a couple of those pieces, then as long as you got, and Rupper would know this, as long as you got the foot soldiers that buy in every game, check their egos at the door. And we had some good guys coming from different places. I came from Hartford. I scored 17 goals the year before. Eddie Olchuk.
Okay.
Bill Bork was there, but wasn't there at the end. But we had good players throughout that year that just didn't play every day. And there's no salary cap, no cap on your roster. Keep as many guys as you want around. And we knew we just wanted to be a part of something special. And, you get a chance to win a Stanley Cup in an Original Six team. I don't want to take away any cup from anybody, but Original Six, New York City, I'm not sure it gets any better than that.
It may not. And I got a little surprise for you, Kipper. We're going to go 5 wide here. We'll see if we can make it better than that. Let's bring in, ladies and gentlemen, Pat McAfee, the number 1 Kipper fan.
Yes.
What's going on?
Kipper.
How are you, pal?
Fucking much better now, dude. I get a chance to chat with you. I've been listening to this interview, this conversation. Your backdrop, you're a Stanley Cup champion compared to the other Stanley Cup champion on this show. He's fucking next level, Kipper. I want to let you know that.
Hey, we're still part of a unique group, man. There's not that many guys that get to win it. 15 years, 20 years, right? It's being in the right place at the right time, surrounded by the right people. It's a blessing.
I feel like I won a Stanley Cup right now, Kipper. Will you and Upper on here? I feel like this is. Hey, quick question for you, Kip. In your mind, as a Stanley Cup champion, been there, done that, like old school hockey. Hey, put the fucking wooden sticks back on the ice. That's what I mean. What are we even doing? All right, I'm on your side here. Why is Sidney Crosby the greatest hockey player of all time? Is it because of his work ethic and his blue collarness? Is that what you think, Kip? Or
because he's got the it factor.
I agree.
And it's as simple as this. Okay, you got to have fuck you in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't, you're missing something. It's that simple, right? Some guys talented, but Sid will stand in there with anybody nose to nose and go, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hell yeah.
we don't have as many of those guys as we did 10, 15 years ago. They like their skills, you know. Lose the game 7-1, but my goal got on Instagram. It's a good day.
Oh, Kip.
Oh, no.
You're not wrong.
It's not about Instagrams. It's not about likes. It's just about winning. It's just about, and Sid gets it.
Hey, Kip, that's not just in hockey, I don't think, dude. I think you're talking about an entire generational thing right there, Kip. You know what I mean?
Whatever it takes to win. And Sid can beat you every which way with a spectacular one-handed backhand.
Oh,
or,
with that flat stick, Kip, with that flat stick.
Or one of these.
Oh.
Hey, Rupper.
Yeah, no, it's true, man. It's true. You know what my first experience with Sid is I came into training camp. We have our physical testing. And we had this, just like we all done different things like that playing sports where some things are better for a guy that's like taller and big like me. And there's some things that are better for guys like Brian Gianta's size, right? And so, they did a medicine ball throw. You get on two knees and you lunge back and you throw the med ball on the football field. And they measure how far you can throw it. This is something that should benefit a big guy like me. I get on there, I heave this ball. Let's say it's 25 feet.
Ooh,
pretty good.
Wow.
So I did it, and the guy that's recording it's like, hey, that's the best one so far. Okay, cool. Like I'm just meeting guys on the team. I know like two guys I played with before. I haven't even really met Sid up to this point. I go and I'm moving on to another thing. Sid pops his head in the door and he goes, "Hey, Rupper, did you get you got 25? You got the high on the medicine ball throw?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I just got 26." And he turned around and walked out. I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is what it is, right?" So I went back out there and these didn't count, but I got down and I threw some more. I got 27. And I look and he's right there. So he comes right next to me and we're just heaving these medicine balls. I bet you we threw 25 balls each. And it was going 25, 27. Then it was 29. Then it was 30. Dude, we got up to 31. So my point is, we started this fucking thing I gave it everything I could, and I got 25. But this dude cannot stop until he's number one. And he pushed me all the way up to 31. That's what makes this kid great, right? Like, that makes him great. He's got that drive for himself, but he makes me better. Because I'm like, no, man, I'm going to beat you in one goddamn thing in this world. It's going to be this medicine ball throw on the line here. And that's what I loved about him. I'm like, that's what he does. Like, he will never stop. And he's got that, like you said, that fuck you. Like, he will tear. That's the one thing from playing with him is it's Sidney Crosby. He carries himself a certain way. He will rip your face off to get the puck. Like, he will rip your face off. And that you got to have that in your game, right?
Can't teach it either, right? You either have it or you don't. And there's some guys that can just stop at 27, Rupper, and be satisfied and move on. But that level of compete is what's driving him. And often when you talk about the best, Gretzky, certain guys can kind of catch it later. Mario, as talented as he was, had to kind of learn how to take it to another level. When he was involved in the Canada Cups with Gretzky, that's when he really took off, when he got to really sample true greatness around him. And that's the driving force behind anybody in any sport, anywhere, boardrooms. It doesn't matter. You gotta just say, fuck you. I'm gonna get higher than you. And Sid's done it his whole career. He'll go down as one of our very best all time, any era, any time. Sid's the man.
Kip, any young guys you like Mick Jesus? Any of these younger guys you like?
Connor's got to learn. He's got to learn how to be a leader. Still, he's as talented as can be. I think the individual thing, he's been able to go through four guys and score goals even at the NHL level. And again, great Instagram moments, but. But no, we get it. We get it. We get it. We know what the kids love right now, but he needs to find a way to bring 19 guys together to win. And yes, we agree. Talent's not there yet for you, but you should be better. This team should be better in Edmonton. They brought in Evander Kane. Forget off ice for 1 second. Talent level comes up, but now he's got to find ways to bring more guys together. But he's learning. He's learning. It's taken a while. Took Stevie Yzerman a while. Took Ovechkin a while.
Hey, people forget that. Good point.
Right. So give him another year or two to see what happens here in Edmonton.
You mentioned some of the I guess a guy that was maybe ahead of his time for all the Instagram stuff, and I was fortunate enough to play with him, and you did too, is Alex Kovalev. And Kovy, I played with him his last year, and when he got traded to Pittsburgh, he'd stand in the corner. Okay, so he's standing in the corner on the goal line, and so he's staring at the side of the net. He would be saucing pucks, and I'd never seen anything like this. He would sauce pucks so delicately, and it would almost like ride on the top of the crossbar, like you're grinding like a skater. You know what I mean? Like,
and what does sauce pucks mean?
No,
sauce pucks means you just stand there.
Just a very like saucer. Instead of it's not fluttering, it's just a crisp little pass where you lift it off the ground and it lands flat. So he's doing that, and it's so buttery and soft. It literally, all you hear is it clicks. You hear it on the top post, go took, 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 and skip off the other side. And he would just do that after practice all the time. And I'm like, this guy's unbelievable. Like, if this guy played now, this is his game now. But I want to ask you, because you mentioned Iron Mike too, and there's that historic story, and I believe that was the year you were there. Were you there for the Kovalev 5-minute shift?
13-minute shift?
Yeah, tell about that one, because when we played with Kobe, I asked him about it, and he laughed it off because he did. You tell the story. He thought that Mike was serious, like stay out there, no?
Yeah, absolutely. He was just getting sick, absolutely sick of his long shifts. And so he finally said, listen, you're staying out there. Alex was like, thought he was rewarded. It was like a 7-minute shift. And he'd come, change. No, get out there. And for the whole time, he's thinking, Mike really likes my game, man. We had to explain to him that he's so mad at you, he won't even let you in the bench right now.
Did he say to you guys on the bench, nobody changed for Kobe? Did he tell you guys that on the bench?
I didn't. I don't remember that.
Okay.
I don't. All I remember is Keenan sending him back out there and say, fucking don't come.
How long's a normal shift? Like a minute?
Not
45 to a minute.
Yeah.
7 feet.
But, he was a pretty in tune guy, like with a hand-eye, as Rupper just said. He was Pat Kane. He was that guy that could pull it on a string.
Yeah.
And one of those guys, once he gets fixated on something, like he got his pilot's license, Yeah. And then he got into music, and would like spend hours upon hours on stuff. And one day he comes into practice and his lips are like 4 times the size. And I'm like, Alex, what happened to you, man? Like, did you get punched out last night? And he goes, no. I'm learning to play the saxophone. He was on this saxophone for 7 hours trying to learn it. He looked like Daffy Duck.
Hey, that year, so he was still rather young when you play with him then, right? So I don't think he had his pilot license yet, but later on when he got it, so we would be flying. Let's say for example, we played in Ottawa and we were flying back into Pittsburgh on a Saturday night. Say we had Sunday off, so we got nothing till Monday morning practice. we'd all be on the flight, and boys, we'd all be playing cards, and all of a sudden Kobe would come walking in the back, and you just see him stopping at each seat, stopping. So he eventually comes back and he goes, do any of you guys want to go to Atlantic City? I'm like, when? He goes, right now. When we land, my plane's already warmed up, and it's going to be right next to us. We're just going to walk on there, and we're going to go. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to fly us. I'm like, oh, okay. So like you'd land the plane in Pittsburgh, and we would get off the plane, and his plane would be 100 yards over there, and he would literally grab his bag, walk off, down the stairs, walk over there, boop, 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 upstairs, put the headset on, and he'd fly to Atlantic City for the night. The guy's unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
I'd be a little nervous. Especially
Nobody went with him.
Nobody went with him.
Nobody would go.
Nobody. He was he's a special guy. So we had the first Russians to ever win the Stanley Cup in New York.
Oh yeah, that's right.
First 5 Russians: Nemchinov, Kovalev, Karpatsov, who we lost in the tragic flight plane crash in the KHL. Zubov, right? Yeah. And it was so funny that year because Keenan with his mind games would pull in like the Russians in the office, and I could hear him like ripping on the Russians. You guys stink. You don't care. All you want to do is go back and win your world championships with your countries. Don Cherry says no team will ever win with Russians on the team. And Don Cherry says this, and Don Cherry says this about the Russians. And then Subi comes back out of his office, and he's dressing beside me in the stall, and he just looks at me and goes, "Who is this Don Cherry?"
This guy said a lot of stuff about us. I'd like to
I said, don't worry about it. Listen, right now, the least of your worries is Don Cherry. Just have a good practice.
Oh, that's so good.
Kipper, you mentioned when I got a chance to jump on Real Kipper and Born With You, you mentioned a couple run-ins with Mario with Big 66 on the ice. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh, well, I got a chance to play with his brother Elaine in Hershey. So great guy. And I get claimed by the Washington Capitals to start my career. We're in the Civic, arena, and all I can hear is Mario screaming at me, "Hey, Kypreos, why don't you go down? Why don't you go back to the minors?" And I skate back to my Washington Capitals bench, and I said, "Guys, did you hear that? Mario knows my name."
That's classic. Was he a shit talker?
Oh, when he had to be. Oh, again, fuck you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mario, absolutely. Mario got whatever he needed to get done.
Hey, think about that, Kip. That's like in the NFL. If you look like Tom Brady, Peyton, they got that fuck you in them. You look at Jordan, Larry Bird, they got that fuck. It's like there's just something. There's the elite of the elite. It's like a different level of that type of stuff.
And Rupper will know this for sure, that nothing brings out whether you've got it or you don't, like the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm watching game 1-82, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Okay. Different beast, the playoffs, completely. Yeah. We're selling 2 products right now. There's the 82 games, which is like a dress rehearsal for Broadway. And then it's like curtains up, showtime, playoffs. That's where these guys rise. And it separates the guys that you think should be there but aren't, and the guys that thrive. And that's the one differential, is the fuck you.
Do you think the Red Wings, if they don't make the playoffs again, maybe just kick them out of the league?
No, the Red Wings are fine.
Okay.
Building.
I didn't know.
I'm worried about New Jersey, Arizona.
Yeah, kick them out.
There's a few struggling right now.
Yeah, Red Wings will always struggle, I guess. That's a shame.
Kipper, we got to ask you about that fateful day we ran into you in downtown Toronto.
Did you get the
eating lunch.
job?
Oh yeah, all good, all good. I had a bit of a business lunch, Rupper, and like 7 guys, just take over the bar, and all I hear is Kipper.
How'd it go? Did it go well?
It was awesome, guys. Welcome anytime. Just hey,
I saw the picture.
when things get normal, man, we're gonna do a night, a Leaf night, okay?
Hey, that'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
We'll
Get
do
a
it, man.
box, then we'll do it right.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, I like
Sounds
the
like a
vitamin
plan.
laws up there too in Toronto.
Yeah,
Yeah, they got good ones up there, Kipper. We'll have those in the box as well. That'd be great.
Hey,
Gumpy,
no, Kipper.
Gumpy, I think you've been quiet over there.
Kipper, you talked about the Stanley Cup. I always think about this, watching how fast Pavel Bure was. How fast was he when you played against a guy like that? He was incredible.
he'd be right up there with Connor McDavid right now. Those are the type of goals that the end to end. Every once in a while, I'll just Google
Yeah.
Bury Stanley Cup final penalty shot on Mike Richter. I mean, it's coming up about 1,000 miles an hour. It's amazing how far Mike Richter comes out on that penalty shot and then starts skating backwards. I mean, I don't think I skated 9 seconds backwards my whole career, and Mike Richter's going about 1,000 miles an hour backwards, and he pulls out the right leg to easily a series-changing kind of penalty shot. But Pavel Bure, Fedorov, I mean, great talented players, man, in their heyday. Some of the best players in the world.
Kipper, you love hockey, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my dad's from Greece. The only ice he knew was in a drink, so I fell in love with it the moment I watched it. My dad was a Leaf fan growing up, but Rupper knows you're lucky enough to be around a game your whole life. It feels like you've never worked a day in it.
Yeah, it's well said there. What do you? I want to know what you think. You get to see Toronto all the time, right? And you've been around that in that market for a long time. Is there anything different this year about them, or is it the same thing? I know that question is asked a lot, but I don't know how to answer it. Everything I've seen, like we watched them take care of business against New Jersey, which they should, right? New Jersey's not a good team. But like, there's times where I watch them, I'm like, we've seen this story before. Like that, you don't have to convince me that they're fucking talented.
What are they like the Cowboys?
What's that?
Are they like the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you make them? Is anything going to change this year? I mean, they're in a terrible spot. If they finish second or third in that Atlantic, and they have to play Florida or Tampa in the first round, they're done. Yeah. In my opinion,
that whole East is going to be really interesting. We already know with the 8 teams that are going to be in it. So even Pitt, New York, Washington, Carolina, pick your poison. There's going to be about 3 or 4 teams in the East that expected to go to a conference final and are out in the first round. Toronto, Austin Matthews, what a talent. Like, just drips of being one of the best scorers in the world now.
Does he have the fuck you?
There you go.
No, I mean that. I talked to the guy. I love him. He's a great dude. But great dudes isn't what wins Stanley Cups. You know what I mean? Like, they need to have that factor. You know what I'm saying?
See, I looked at if we go past Crosby, think about those championships with Malkin. There's another guy that can bowl you over. He can run you over. He can get nasty too. So now you've won championships with Crosby and Malkin's got the FU too. Look at Toronto, Rupper. So
Yeah.
now you got Austin Matthews, and you know the game as well as anybody. You don't know the answer to that on Austin Matthews. And I'll go one more. John Tavares, wonderful, talented guy for 10 years, franchise of the New York Islanders, point getter, munched his minutes, but no, fuck you.
Yeah. No. I had, so I'm gonna explain. You brought up Evgeny Malkin, and Malkin has that fuck you. And he, I don't think you win a Conn Smythe without having that in your game. I told you my first experience with Sid in training camp. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, about a week before that, we had kind of, you had captain's practices. There's not many coaches out there. Jake Caulfield is running us through stuff and, skating us. We're playing pickup. We're playing shinny, and we're out on the ice. Malkin has the puck. I'm on the other team in the inter-squad scrimmage. He's going the other way. I skate up behind him. He doesn't see me. I lift his stick, take the puck away from him, and I start going the other way. And this is all in the neutral zone. I go the other way. I cut across the blue line. I don't even remember. I just shoulder right in the chin. Bang. Dude, I had 20 fights the year before. You know what I mean? Like, I was a fighter at that time. I had 20 fights the year before. He crushes me in the face. I get up, and I'm like, I'm going to kill someone. I don't know who it is. Who's hitting me in, like, pickup hockey? And I see him. And he took the puck from me and went down the other way and got a shot. And then I'm like, what do I do here? Do I go grab Neil and beat him up? Like, what am I supposed to do? And it took about, a minute. I went back to the bench. I'm like, what the fuck was that? And he came up to me, and he skates up, and he goes, I'm sorry. He goes, I'm sorry, I didn't. He fucking snapped because I took the puck away from him. And in practice, not even practice, in like pickup. So I thought to myself, this is where I want to play. I want to play right here. You know what I mean? I want to win. I want to win. I want to play with these guys,
Yeah. So, I mean, they're going to get their chance. Toronto will make the playoffs. They're going to play a good team in the first round, and they're going to get another crack. They've been around a little bit now. There's some mileage. There are some disappointments in the playoffs for both, Matthews, Tavares, Marner. They're going to get another chance to show if they've got a little FU in their game, to get a little greasy, get a little ugly. I had Mark Messier in New York. And if you want to talk about FU, man, he's the king.
Yeah.
6 cups with nothing but FU. We're in Dallas, and they've got some big boys there, Churla and Donnelly, and it's getting
hey, that's Texas hockey
out there.
Hell yeah. Craig Ludwig, dude.
Yeah. And now it's like, there's me, Joey Kosher, I think Mike Hartman, and we're like, okay, I mean, I got to grab one of them. I'll probably fight Donnelly, 6'4". I'm going to get my head caved in, right? And Mess stands up on the bench, and he goes, don't waste your time with those guys. Go after their stars. Next shift, Mess goes out there and absolutely clotheslines Mike Modano.
No, what the fuck, Kipper?
Stretcher.
What the
Full
fuck?
stretcher. Neck
God
brace.
damn it.
Go Google it. They now take the stretcher. They go through the Zamboni. So now he's on the Jumbotron. He gets to the ambulance. They drop him.
Oh, this is when they dropped him.
Oh, this is when they dropped him.
Completely drop him. But that's Messier again. Right? Kevin Lowe. Kevin Lowe's not a $160, right? Stay-at-home defenseman. We go play the Edmonton Oilers. We finish warm-up. Kevin Lowe's like Mr. Edmonton Oiler along with Gretzky and Messier, all those championships. We come off the ice, and someone starts chirping Kevin Lowe. And Kevin Lowe comes right back out, and he's now face-to-face with somebody, and it's a total fuck you, and the fan says you'll never win in New York, and Kevin Lowe's like ready to clock him over the head with his stick. And I'm thinking, didn't you win 5 Stanley Cups here? Like, aren't these all like your family? He goes, all I care is about the next one. I'm like, oh my God, these guys are going to win me a Stanley Cup. I got some serious coattails here I'm going to ride for the next 6 months.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That's so good. Hey, I got one more for you. I want to ask about Naz Kadri. He's having himself a year right now. Obviously, he had a lot of time there in New York. And I think a lot of times that time was blemished, obviously, because of his decisions in the playoffs and his suspensions. I don't think he's getting enough love out there right now. I know there's a lot of season left for the Hart, but also for the Selke. I think the Selke has been an award that's been morphed into something else. But if you're going to do that, then now Nazem Kadri's your guy. And do you think that because of we see it with Brad Marchand, doesn't get the love that he should probably get because he's a villain, right? He's a
licking
heel.
faces.
Yes, he's licking faces. He's doing those things. So do you feel like as the voter or the writers vote on those things, do you think Naz Kadri has the potential to win both those awards, or in the running, or at least considered for both of them? And do you think it'll ever happen, or are people not going to give him votes because he's Naz Kadri?
Well, I agree with you that those guys don't get the benefit of the doubt, and past mistakes will always stay with them, whether it's licking a face or in Kadri's situation, 2 bad suspensions in the playoffs. But, Kadri, to me, is the type of guy that the Leafs should never have given up on. And, they gave him the second strike and you're out. You got to understand with Kadri, the Leafs, again, had a reputation of not being the toughest team. And when they got beat up by the Boston Bruins, Kadri just took it upon himself and he said, I've had enough. Okay. All right, my team's getting run. No one's doing anything about it. I'm going to take it upon myself and do something about it. He doesn't have to do that with now Colorado. And he made, again, a bad mistake last playoff. It cost him dearly, but he is in another hit space right now.
Yeah.
And he is a talented guy. He scored a lot of points in junior, and he always had the reputation that he could score 30 goals, 60 or 70 points. A career year now. It'll be his last year in Colorado. There's just not a chance that they can afford him, knowing that McKinnon's going to come in at $13 million next year. The only thing that matters to him now is Rupper. They get winning the silver trophy. That's all that matters right now for him and that rest of the group in Colorado.
Well said.
Kipper, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for joining us,
awesome.
brother.
Thanks, buddy.
Awesome, guys.
Some amazing stories.
Hey, cheers to you, man. I had to grab a drink there during that last one. I thought we were wrapping. Cheers to you being fucking a legend, Kipper.
You coming on my show, Real Kipper and Born?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
When?
Oh, we'll set it all up. Don't worry. You're the man.
You're the man.
We work around you guys. Hey, Nick, thanks for the invitation.
Absolutely, brother. Come back anytime you want, please.
Rupper.
We can't say it enough. You're a legend, and you made our night here, brother. Thank you.
Had a blast, guys. Thanks a lot.
Take care, buddy.
Thank you,
Atta
Kipper.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick
Thank
Kypreos,
you,
the real Kipper. Hey, what a guy.
Wow, man, that was great. Great story.